Hello there, Sagittarius. Thank you for stopping by for your monthly video tarot forecast. This forecast is for the month of May, and I am going to be breaking it down into two sections. The first one is going to be May the 1st through May the 15th, and then after that, the end of the video will be about May 16th through the 31st. So, Sagittarius, let's get to it, shall we? The first card that we have coming up does talk to me about your environment. Environment is any place where you have energy or effort invested, so you want to be sort of open-minded about where I may be talking about here, because it may or may not be home for each of you. And what I have is that right now you're feeling alone in the environment. You've taken some time to sort of spend some time alone, and you have a chance to prioritize and to understand a little bit more about what makes you tick in the environment that you're in. Feel like you're probably solitary in your environment right now, or at least have a significant amount of solitary time during this time frame in your environment. Next thing that I'm looking at here is your subconscious leaning, Sagittarius, and what I have showing up here is a card that tells me that you have a person that you're thinking about at a subconscious level, and this is a person that when I see this card, I know that they are a broken person. So they may be broke financially, and you may be considering, what you can do to help them, how much you can help them, if you can help them. Or they may be broken in other ways. Maybe they have gone through the loss of somebody significant in their life, or maybe they have been in a really rough, rocky relationship. Maybe they still are. But there's something going on where maybe in their childhood they were, not accepted for who they are as a person. But there's something going on where this person is now coming across as broken. They trigger easily in particular areas, and there's some things about them that they're not able to think logically about, and it makes it really difficult to interact with them in a way that is healthy. Okay, so it could be, like I said, somebody who's just financially broken, but a lot of times this person, when this card shows up, is broken in other ways as too that make it hard to interact with them. And so that's a person who is in your subconscious mind significantly during this time frame. Now, the next thing I'm looking at talks to me about your learning style and also your communication style. So learning style, I'm seeing that your curiosity is really leading the way for you, Sagittarius, and the new information that you're finding out about. And also, I think that some of the things that you're finding out about really are creating some emotions in you as you find out about them. Now, as far as your communication style, I do feel like you are, there are times during this time frame where you're going to be kind of quiet and you'll seem really mysterious to somebody else in your sphere of influence. There are certain people that you're going to be talking to a lot, and I feel like there is somebody that you're going to be having a really deep emotional discussion with during this time frame, maybe multiple discussions, but I feel like this is really comes down to one person that you're having this type of communication with, Sagittarius. Next thing I'm looking at does talk to me about work, and it looks to me like work is, you're going through a really stressful time at work. There's something going on at work that has you feeling has you really overthinking and feeling stressed out. Usually this is something that's beyond our control that has us in this kind of degree of stress. A lot of times when things are not in our control, that's what stresses us out. And so there's something going on that's not really under your control that you're stressing out about. You want to find a way to make peace with that and just kind of let the chips fall where they may, without you having to carry all this load of stress, since you can't do anything to change it anyway. Why would you carry that load of stress? It's not good for you. Don't do it. Can you tell I'm trying to steer you towards don't do it. Don't let it stress you out. Let's see. Next thing I'm looking at does talk to me about that part of your personality which is being grown or expanded right now. It looks like you are finding, not to sound cliche, but I think you're finding an attitude of gratitude. Normally with this card, I would say that there's something you're feeling grateful for, but that's not the words that were given to me as I was looking at it. This is more of a habit. I think you're coming into a place where you're forming a habit of finding those things that you can be grateful for. That's where you're really growing or expanding during this time frame. Now, the next thing that I'm looking at for you Sagittarians is something that you stand for during this time frame. So this is going to be something that somebody asks you to explain, or they may even out and out confront you about this. And when they do, you are going to be standing up for this thing. And then we're going to look at not only what is this thing you're standing up for, but also how does this other person feel after you've had your conversation, your explanation, your confrontation, however that works out in your life? How are they going to be feeling about you after this? Okay, so the thing that you stand for, Sagittarius, is something that you have started in the past, and when you did start it, it was more or less a leap of faith. You had no idea where this was actually going to end up taking you. And recently, you had a chance to sort of look at this and evaluate it and figure out, you know what, I need to think about if this situation has served its purpose now and I need to let go of it, or if this is something that I can still get more good stuff out of and I want to continue forward with it. And you've decided that you're not ready to turn loose of this and that you want to continue forward with this situation because you feel like there's more benefit to come out of it. Now, this is what you've had to stand for. You've had to explain this, or somebody's confronted you about this, and how they see you after you've had this explanation or confrontation. They see you as somebody who has a lot of plates in the air, and that you're somebody that is able to handle them all gracefully. It may feel hectic to you to handle them all, but from the outside looking in, they're seeing you as handling things really gracefully. Okay, so next thing we're looking at is the lesson or experience of this particular time frame. What's going on here? I feel like there's something going on with someone that you would consider a friend, where I think you're going to be finding out that they kind of threw you under the bus, and I don't think that you were expecting this. And so when you find this out, I feel like there is actually going to be a confrontation. I don't think you're going to just let this go quietly. I think you're going to talk to this person about, you know, why did this go down the way that it did? I think you're going to be letting this person know how surprised and hurt you are as well. At the same time that this is going on, I don't see this person as being particularly honest with you. Even when you're trying to have a reasonable discussion with them and more or less salvage the friendship, I don't see them as telling you the truth. In fact, I see them as twisting the truth, basically trying to say what they think you want to hear so that they can save this situation rather than just being upfront with you. And what I see you doing is, I feel like you know that they're not telling you the truth. But I do see you, even though you know they're not telling you the truth, as you confront them about this, I feel like you are turning loose of any negative emotions that you may have had about how this person treated you. You're letting that go. And I think you're letting that go because you would rather let go of those negative emotions than, and this is your opinion, you'd rather let go of those negative emotions than let go of somebody that you consider to be a friend in spite of this action. Okay? And then where we see you at the end of this particular time frame, so around the 13th, 14th, 15th of the month, I think that you are taking accountability for things. And you're taking accountability especially for things as they went down in this situation. So what do I mean you're taking accountability for things? Obviously this person didn't exactly treat you right, if they threw you under the bus and then they lied about it later. I think what's going on here is you're looking at this person and you're saying to yourself, you know, this is somebody that I want to keep their friendship. We've been friends for a long time, or whatever the situation may be. You feel like you're getting something from that friendship that is productive and healthy and good. And so I think what you're doing is you're just acknowledging that, okay, well, this friend does have a weakness, they have a problem, so, you know, I can't play into that. Like if this friend is a gossip, I can't tell them things I don't want everybody to know. That type of thing. Okay? So that's what I've got. I'll be back in a moment and we'll look at the rest of the month. Welcome back, Sagittarius. We are looking at the second part of May this time around. So this is going to be May 16th through May 31st. Let's see what shows up in the cards. Thank you very much for being here and spending some of your precious time with me. We're going to count that as the first card, and that's going to be the second card. All right. Thank you also for thumbs ups on this video and for sharing it with others who may benefit from it as well. And of course, thank you to those of you who are ordering private readings and private Reiki sessions. It's because of you guys' support that I'm able to do what I love to do for my living, and I do appreciate it. Okay, so Sagittarius, let's start off with your environment during this time frame. Looks like there is a lot of communication and a lot of activity going on in your environment right now. There may be so much going on that it's kind of hard for you to keep up with which way everything is going. Let's turn the microphone down. Maybe you can hear me a little better. My apologies. Second card that we're looking at does talk to me about your subconscious leanings, and it looks to me like there is somebody that you're collaborating with that you're really thinking, you know, I could probably do just fine without that collaboration. I could probably do just fine doing this all on my own, and maybe even better than how I'm doing with collaboration with this other person. Next thing we're looking at is learning style and also communication style. I do feel like there's something going on where you don't know all the details, and so I think that when you're trying to get the details, people are being very evasive or sort of locking down that information so that you don't have access to it. And I think what's going on is that's really causing you to think and overthink this situation, and so you're putting a lot of extra thought into this, and really it's becoming much more of a big deal in your mind than what it would be if you just had access to the information to start with. As far as your communication style, I do feel like you are communicating a lot with several different people around you, and I think that a lot of your communication is very lighthearted and doesn't go very deep, but then you also have probably almost as much that is very deep and very much to the point, straight and direct and to the point. All right, Sagittarius, next thing that we're looking at has to do with work, and I think that you're getting some kind of good news at work. You may be hearing that you're going to be getting a raise or a promotion, or you may be hearing that you're getting some type of bonus, or you may be hearing that, you know, you're getting to, your office is going to be in a nicer place than it has been before. There's some type of improvement that you're hearing about at some point during this time frame from the May 16th through 31st. Next thing I'm looking at does talk to me about that part of your personality, which is growing and expanding right now. I do feel like you are really getting to spend some time doing the things that you love to do, doing the things that you enjoy doing that make you feel satisfied and happy. For some of you, this is going to be spending time with grandchildren. I definitely got that kind of a visual as I was feeling into this card is, you know, somebody spending time with grandchildren and really feeling satisfied and happy about being able to do that, fulfilled. Now, next thing I'm looking at, Sagittarius, talks to me about something that you stand for during this time frame. So this is something that somebody comes to and they ask you to explain, or maybe they even confront you about this thing. And then we're going to look at how that person sees you after you have made that explanation or handled that confrontation. So it looks like you have a situation in your life that you just really don't feel like moving forward with. You don't have the energy for it. You just kind of feel actually a little apathetic about it. And so once you and this other person who have talked and you've explained that, it looks to me like they're feeling like um, your creative juices have sort of run dry. So they may be feeling like you're having something similar to like a writer's block or something like that, where you just don't have the energy, you don't have the oomph and um, the spark to actually move forward with that. And I mean, that's pretty much exactly what you just explained to them. So it seems like whoever this person is, they were really listening well. Look at that. That is so rare to come up in a spread, to see somebody actually listening well to what you have to say as you're defending your thing. Wow, that's just a relief. Can we stop the reading right here? I'm happy. Okay, okay, okay. Next thing we're looking at is the lesson or experience showing up for this time frame. There is a situation here where I feel like there's something that you feel really happy about and you want to celebrate it, and yet I feel like the circumstances aren't right for you to be able to celebrate it. Maybe when you want to celebrate it, maybe all your friends are out of town or doing something or whatever. So even though I feel like there's something definitely on your mind that you would love to celebrate, I just feel like there's just not people around to celebrate it with you. Now, as you are incorporating this into your life, it looks to me like there's something that you're handling in a strange way, Gemini, and I think it really is lack of planning. You're just handling something, and it's something that's important, and you're just kind of winging it. You're just handling it sort of spur of the moment. You're not putting any strategy into this, or maybe you have put strategy into it, and now you're throwing that strategy straight up to the wind. But there's something going on here where there's something important that's happening in your life, and you're not using good strategy to get through this. You're just going by impulse, and I feel like that directly correlates with this next card that ties in together with this, that talks about um, some self-destructive behavior, something that's going on that I think some of the choices that you're making on this impulse are actually hurting you instead of helping you. So as you're going through this time, we have free will. You don't have to make my cards come true. You can change the outcomes here. And so what I'm going to recommend is try to stay away from doing things on impulse, especially once we get closer to the last 10 days of this month. Try to use strategy. Try to look and do your due diligence before you make any decisions, and try to actually plan things out. Try to avoid those impulse decisions. And then where we see you at the end of the month is, I think that you're dealing with somebody from your past who is really reminding you. What I'm picking up is they're reminding you of your failures from before. And so obviously nobody needs to be reminded of the failures from before, right? So this is not exactly a pleasant interaction whenever you see this person. And I feel like it leaves you a little unsettled and a little uncomfortable, and almost with, I'm not sure exactly what they say to you, but I know it's not exactly encouraging. And I feel like you sort of have this questioning kind of going on in the back of your mind after this interaction of, are they right? Are they right? Am I still the same? Have I not changed? Am I doomed to make the same mistakes over and over and over again? And so, you want to realize that just because somebody knows your past does not mean that they know your future. And yeah, we all have things that we wish wouldn't have been a part of our past, but the key is, did we learn from them? And it feels to me like this is something that you have learned from. And so I don't see you making these same mistakes again. I see you carrying the lesson forward so that you know how to avoid making those mistakes again. So don't let this person get to you just because they're there and they're moving their lips. That doesn't give them the right to get to you and get under your skin. Okay? So that's what I've got for you, Geminis. Thank you so much for being here. I look forward to doing private readings for some of you here during this month, and the rest of you, I'll see you back on the next video. Peace out.